Well, welcome back, everybody. We're now in the fantastic, in fact, the bit I've been really waiting for. And in fact, my first guest is one of the food and drink I most love in the whole wide world. But we are now in the food and drink hour, so I'm going to be talking to some absolutely fantastic micro businesses, absolutely fantastic stuff. And my first guest is Mike Peets, and Mike has got Owow Chocolates, and they are, oh wow, he's actually sent some to the Enterprise Rockers HQ in sunny Scarborough, and we have sampled them, and every week I ask him for some more. And they're branded chocolates. Just tell everybody for a second, Mike, about how you came up with this fantastic idea to create these, well, unique but branded chocolates for the corporate market.
Yeah, it's like everything. It's the mother of invention, is necessity. And when I was looking for branded chocolates when I was in a paid employment, all you could find were branded boxes or branded ribbons, or the branding wasn't on the chocolate. And I just thought that was going to be really sort of unique. And so I was watching Lorraine Pascal one night on TV, and she was making these Oreo pops and dipping them in Belgian chocolate, and I was thinking, yeah, Oreos and Belgian chocolate, that's quite a nice combination. And we went on, we tried it with those, but they're just the wrong shape. And then the guy who supplies our molds, who's up near your end of the neck of the woods, came out with these molds which fit mini Oreos, and we could put branded tops on top on the chocolate. And we started off locally, and it started to expand. We took it up to London for a couple of meetings, and I think in our first month we managed to get O2 as a customer. And from there, we just haven't looked back. So it was just putting things together and just asking the questions, using Google, and just saying, can we? Yeah. Green lights all the way through. And it's taken a little research and development to get it right. But now we're, where we were dealing in tens of mini-O's, we're now doing thousands. And hopefully soon be doing tens of thousands.
Absolutely fantastic. It's a great success story. Can I just introduce you, Mike, to Martin Kirby, who's over there in Spain? Yes, is that right? And from Mother's Garden. And I do understand that Martin will know that it's my co-founder of Enterprise Rockers' birthday today, and as well as Enterprise Rockers' third birthday. And Martin actually knows Tina Bowden really well. So welcome to our hangout, Martin. Could you just so that everybody's got into context, the businesses we've got, and before I ask Mike another question, could you just explain your motivation for actually developing Mother's Garden and all your beautiful olive oil? What made you actually do that as a business? Because you're a journalist by background, aren't you?
Yes, firstly, you can hear me, Tony?
Yes, we can hear you, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Yes, I am a writer, actually. I write books and screenplay and things. But Mother's Garden stemmed from a very age-old, vital role in society and small business, and that's through the cooperative movement, which I want to talk about. But we are tiny, but we've worked very hard in one of the oldest businesses in the world, in a 6,000-year-old product, which is simply a fruit juice called olive oil, to simplify and localize and support our community and the small village where we are. Why did we get into it? Because we believe profoundly in the product, and we grow olives. And through it, we've been self-employed for many years, but through olive oil, we're able to support local businesses in the UK. We won't trade with supermarkets. We deal with local delis or local fine food outlets, and we feel it's a way that we can contribute to small businesses, basically.
Okay, great. No, that's helpful. What I'd like both of you to do is, as you know, what we're doing on this fantastic day. I don't know if you've been watching any of the previous things, but we're asking everybody to give 9 minutes of help, particularly on gaining customers or improving cash flow, or just inspiring people and giving people confidence to keep going, because that's what we created the Enterprise Rockers Worldwide for, was to just keep people rocking, keep people going, and as a community of micro business owners. So I'm going to ask you both just to say what your advice would be to somebody thinking of setting up a food and drink business that's similar to yours. And I'll just go on the chocolates now again. But you know, it's a totally different market, really, isn't it? From what we've heard from Martin, Mike, because yours is the corporate branded, the people that are helping me today, like
absolutely,
work and Stage One, whereas Martin's is developing, was helping communities as well, not just the community there, but with the local delis and the independent stockists and various things. So, from your point of view in dealing with the more corporate, larger organisation market, because they would be the best orders for you. Yeah,
absolutely.
What would you say to somebody about setting up that kind of food or drink business?
It's basically don't be shy. If you've got to know. What I say to a lot of people when they're starting a business is know your end game. Where is it you want to take your business? Because if you haven't got that end game in sight at the beginning, how are you going to plan how you're going to get there? Now, we set out very purposely from the very start that we want to sell this business at some stage, and that's always been our end game. So it's always been think big, because if you want to sell the business, it's got to be a bigger business than it is, and always make yourself look bigger than you actually are. And I think we've succeeded in that, because some of the requests we get, we just pull people in to do them. So, but yeah, it's really having that sort of almost a strategy from day one to know where you're going. What do you want to get out of your business? And it doesn't mean you don't have to be big. If you just want it to be your hobby, your lifestyle, and if that's your aim, then that's your aim. But make sure that's what you're aiming for, and then work out how am I going to get there, and what am I going to do that is different to the next person down the street who's doing a similar sort of thing to me. So what sets us out from, say, Thornton's or Hotel Chocolat, who are possibly our competitors on quality, because of the quality of chocolate. I believe we're better than Thornton's, but we're certainly, virtually on a par with Hotel Chocolat. But the way we do our branding is completely different, and that's what we wanted to be. We wanted to be remarkable. We wanted to be different and outstanding from anything else that's in the marketplace. And it's just sometimes marrying some simple things together like we did, and thinking about how you bring that to market. So yeah, the advice would be to just have that broad outline of a plan to know where you want to go, where you want to be with the business, and where you want to take it. As for getting customers, we used a lot of self-promotion, as you know, on Twitter. We used Twitter a hell of a lot to get to the corporates, and that just meant, yes, sending free boxes, sending free chocolate to people who, I don't mind admitting it, who had bigger followers than we did. Yeah. And because 9 times out of 10 they're going to tweet a picture of what we've sent them, and I couldn't pay for PR like that or marketing like that, and it just works. It gets you out there, it gets you noticed.
That's that's fantastic. That's really helpful. That's really, really good. And you did use the word in there, which is one of my. As you know, I'm a fairly positive, happy person. But the one word that does get me really angry, and Tina Burden as well, is when people talk about micro businesses as just lifestyle businesses, if you like. And I think Martin's a perfect example of the fact that, and Owow Chocolates and various things, is that we are actually all serious business people that need to be recognised as serious business people. And hello to Renee as well, has just joined us, I can see. That's fantastic. So we're going to be talking about Love Storm cupcakes, fantastic. Oh, I tell you what, those bulldog ones with the little pink, with chocolate ears and think, oh, they're fantastic. Anyway, but going back to Martin, yeah, you've integrated this whole thing into, as I say, local community, and really, like, Mike's got a really persuasive brand, Owow Chocolates, for the corporate market. Your Mother's Garden brand is absolutely, well, it's just fantastic, isn't it, in terms of, like, the values of the business that you've actually created are all within that content and that writing that you've. What would be your advice to somebody wanting to put that kind of personality, if you like, into their business and be a success as well, you know, be able to earn a living doing it?
Firstly, I completely agree with Mike and everything he said. From our point of view, and I think it's true of anything, getting the product out there and people aware of it is certainly vital. And the way that he's doing, I applaud. Take it from our perspective. There is a big story behind our brand. We were on national television in 2 documentaries many years ago. But it's a lifestyle choice, yes, but it is our firm belief and a commitment in our business. We're serious business people. Get a story behind it. Tell the story of your business, because usually that's what people want. They want to know the provenance. They want to know the quality. They want to know the story. So many products out there don't have. You really buy on trust more and more these days, and they don't have a story. They're corporate, big operations, and the small producers have an edge. We do have a story to tell. Be different, tell your story, personalize it, use the wonderful technologies that we do have to hand, plan ahead for certain, but be in community. I mean, I'm not sure about Mike, but we are members of the Guild of Fine Food, and we use that community. We take part in the competitions. We've won the top award. Star Gold in the Great Taste Awards for Mother's Garden was a phenomenal thing to do. Be part of this community that you are fostering and talk to each other for sure, but plan very carefully. As I said, you need to know what your goals are. It can be the sky's the limit, of course, but be realistic about that. And use the technology to tell that story without letting it suck you in. One alarm bell is that obviously you can spend an inordinate amount of time, as we did at one stage, working on websites and everything. We've got it all tuned now where we do the minimum, and it generates a lot of interest. And our business Facebook page, we post very regularly on key olive oil issues. Olive oil is a huge subject, but a very simple one, and the degree of knowledge or lack of knowledge about olive oil is still vast. Most people, I get extremely upset with the national coverage of the topic on the whole. There's only recently one national newspaper was doing a story about the world. There is a major crisis with olive oil this year and a lot of production problems. But they just went and quoted supermarket prices again. There are, it was absurd, really. They didn't go into the detail. Give people the detail. Make it available about who you are and how different you are and what the story is, because often that is inspiring. And then you cultivate loyalty, brand loyalty.
Yeah. No, that's really, really helpful, Martin. Really appreciate that. Renee, and just hello to Tina, who has just recharged her battery. She's short of energy or need any battery recharging, but the technology has needed some recharging. Let's bring Renee into this. What we've been talking to Mike about with his branded chocolates and Martin is that as micro business owners, we have certain advantages really that the corporates don't have, if you like. But tell us first of all about, and they are fantastic. The works of art are your cakes. They're absolutely brilliant. In fact, really, somebody needs to go on the website and have a look at them all. I'd rather eat them all, but people could look at them all. Brennan, just explain your business a little bit, and then could you join in where Mike and Martin did, and just tell us, in the spirit of Microbiz Matters Day, somebody thinking of setting up a business like yours, and yours is unique, like Martin and Mike's are, You know, there is not one cupcake business, for example. They're all completely different, aren't they? But you've got a particular style, and how do you get that over to get customers? So tell us what your business is, and then could you just explain in a couple of minutes, you know, which is advice for other people trying to set up a food business. What have you found works for you to get customers?
The main thing for us, and it's always been this way, is customer loyalty. When people come here, we always see them again. You know, a lot of it is because I do share quite a lot of the backstory on social media. So people, when we're posting on Facebook, it's not just about the cakes, it's about our family, and, you know, I'm a single mum with 2 children. So I often post videos of the girls helping out at work, and people come here, they're like friends, literally. Nearly everybody that comes here, it's like friends. So if they come here and the children aren't here, they're often disappointed because they were hoping to see them, and they try and fit it so they come after school so they know the girls will be here to play with their children. So all of our customers, they don't just know about the products that we sell, they know us personally. And we put that across on Facebook because I think it's important for people to know how much of a struggle it was to get there, but it is completely doable. You know, I started making cakes in my house when I was made redundant and on my own with 2 children. And it just sort of grew from there with people's support. And I think most of that is down to the fact that they saw how hard I was trying, and they appreciated the struggle. And they've just gotten behind the brand 100%, and it's just going from strength to strength, and I'm in a really great position. I remember sitting with Tina in a meeting, and she asked me years ago, before, you know, anything took off, and she asked me to visualize what it is that I want to achieve, and I did, and that was a massive tool in helping us get Love Storm to where it is now. Just picturing it, even though it seemed completely like impossible at the time. But
you've made a big step, like Mike's made as well in the last year or so, haven't you? By the premises that you've got, and could you just tell us a little bit about the different ways you make income really out of now having premises? Because I think a lot of people do need to find their own premises eventually in order to expand and do more things. But you've also got to be quite creative, haven't you, in terms of, you know, the ways that people can use that space. Could you just explain what you've done?
Okay, so we took it from the hat. We got to the stage where it was just too much in my home. Literally, we didn't have a home. We had candy machines everywhere and mixers and people knocking at the door at 7 PM saying, "Are you the lady that does cakes?" So it got to the point where we had to move from the home to a business premises. It being affordable was an issue, so what we did is we took on, it was a tiny little tanning shop that was disused for a few years in a not particularly affluent area, so very cheap to rent. So we got in there and we just made it look absolutely beautiful, like a little girl's paradise, but too small to do any functions or anything like that. We'd do the odd cupcake decorating classes in the summer holidays and things like that, but it was clear straight away, and how popular it was, that it wasn't big enough. So within a year, our premises came up, so we've taken a disused pub in the same area, so people still know where to find us. It's absolutely ginormous, and now we can have children's parties here, wedding showers, baby showers. We do cupcake decorating classes. It's just fit for purpose. There's nothing that we provide that we can't do on site, which makes such a difference. And I live really nearby, so it's all pretty good at the moment.
Fantastic. I'll bring Tina in now because, well, Tina knows all 3 of you, I think, as well, because you've all done fantastic things for the Rockers on our, not just our special day today, but all the time in the 3 years that we've been doing the Rockers. So I'll bring Tina in. What we're actually doing is we're focusing straight on with customers, really, and helping people get customers from these lovely food businesses. Have you got any questions for Renee and Mike and Martin?
Well, can I just start by saying hello to much love to Martin, Maggie, Joe and Ella in the prayer app. Much love to Renee, Avea, and Alani in Leeds, and Mike as well. So yeah, great. I have watched at least 2 of these businesses and what they've been through and how they've grown and how they've got customers. I think you're all great examples of what you've done and about of perseverance, and how in some cases like Martin and Maggie, how they have completely diversified in lots of different areas. So there's the olive oil, but there's the other businesses that they run as well. And I think the one thing that you've all shown is that actually, like Renee was just saying about repeat businesses and making friends. And I think even with Mike, with some of the larger corporates as businesses, you get to know the people, they get to know your product, and they come back again and again. The reason that we have become such good friends with Martin and Maggie as a family is because we went and stayed with them, and then we went back again. And the same has been with Renee, and I met her in the beginning. So, and you can't help but to go back to Mike's Chocolates. But I think it is that story. We were talking a little bit earlier about that actually micro-business owners all together understanding what each one is going through. So you get the fact that, you know, one of the children might be poorly, and that affects how you can run your business, and then how are you going to get somebody else involved to help out, or, you know, a family member is ill, or you're ill, or any of that. And you've suddenly got this whole community that are working together, and I think that's one of the beauties that we've got at Rockers, that you suddenly start to understand what others are going through and you have an empathy with them. And then you start to realise just how many of your customers are also micro businesses themselves and have an empathy with that. So, yeah, I just think you're all doing a marvellous job, and I think you all rock.
I think one of the things that comes.
I've got sunshine. Look, sunshine.
We're very jealous. Well, it's a lovely day here as well too. So and
it's obviously not windy in the Prairie, because if it was, we wouldn't have Martin here at all.
This is Google Glass. You can see the Google on it. This is the highest technology. Anyway, one of the things that I pick up from you, and it must be the mistake that Claire and I, my business partner, made 28 years ago, because we did exactly the wrong thing in the early years, because we tried to go corporate. We took out that zig and zag that Mike's got, you know, doing something totally different. We actually just copied what we thought big consultancies and training businesses were doing, and their look and feel, and we took out our own personalities. And as you can see, we've learnt a bit since, because the Rockers has got quite a lot of Tina and my personalities in it. But that's so important, isn't it, to your businesses? Don't let me put words into your mouth, but getting your personality and your values and things over is important to your businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. If I could come in there, Tony, when we post on Facebook and Twitter, I've been like you. I've got a sense of humour, and I like to use it. And I don't think we should be backwards and coming forwards. And certainly on the Facebook page, where most of our personal customers come from, then it's very much very cheeky, you know, very light-hearted. Whereas Twitter, it's still funny, but it's funny on a different level towards the corporates, because that's where we get most of our corporate business from. But it's like Renee said, it's showing, and I think Martin did as well. It's that backstory. It's what are you? What is the business? You are the business. So what are you? Not what's your product? Yeah, your product looks good. Your product looks great. But what about you behind it? What's the personality of the business?
Yeah, it's your unique feature, and it's that trust thing, isn't it, that comes out of people actually knowing who's behind it. Would you agree, Martin?
Totally, completely. I think all of us would. The issue of trust is vital, and I think we're going to see this change quite significantly in the coming years and months, because there is a change. People do want to know where their food comes from. And if they get to know you and they like you and they love the story, then that's enjoyable. They really enjoy visiting that wonderful cake shop, going to get the chocolate. We find a lot of people. Olive oil is an unusual subject because actually there remains this strange hole of information. People don't know very much about what is fundamentally a fruit juice. You pick it. It's a winter fruit. Here's a little thing. I'm sending emails out and messages to our lovely clients who bought olive oil. We sell to chefs, top chefs, and to lots of private clients, and also to food outlets, and things like that. It's an olive is a fruit. You pick it, you squeeze it, you get the juice out, and then you consume it. On every bottle, we always write by hand when it was pressed, because it's a fruit juice. I want fresh fruit juice.
Yeah.
Okay, so most olive oil in the world on sale in shelves in England doesn't tell you how old it is. It will last years, it won't do any harm, but it won't do much good. We do all that, but the point is I'm emailing them all because a lot of people have ordered it for Christmas feasting after our harvest. Olives are a winter crop. We harvest it in November at the prime moment. It arrives in England in a block. It's gone solid because it's a monounsaturated fat, and it will go hard, like butter goes hard in the fridge. It's a simple thing. So we're sending fun emails out around saying to people, oh, for goodness sake, don't panic. It's a winter. Because some people have thrown it out, think it's gone off or whatever. So yes, we connect with all of our clients. We joke about it. We say to people, pour it like a smoothie, and tell stories constantly, as Mike was saying, about what we're doing, as all of us, Aurelio said as well, what we're doing, where we are, and personalised. It's essential, and people love it. And that's how I got to know Tina. Tina and I have been friends for a long time now, and her lovely family. And it all became a common interest. And common interest is quite a short list. It's about quality of life. It's about fulfillment and making a lovely feeling about sourcing something and enjoying it, and community. And that's food, invariably. I have one last thing before I shut out, is that I'd love the world, please, if we're talking about food, is to we love to do a recipe book, and the first chapter would be carpentry. Build a nice table, put it in the middle of your house, turn all the electrical things off, sit down. It's the way back to harmony. Communicate with good food and good chocolate and good cakes. We sit down and we talk, and if we talk, we resolve. And food is the future for unlocking so many problems. So yes, stories, people, tell your story. If you're a small business and you're in the food business, get it out there. Tell them who you are and why.
Yeah, I bet all three of you have got customers because of that coming back all the time, if you like, and recommending you. Is that the case with you, Renee?
Yeah, well, going back to the personality thing, I think for me, when I started Love Storm, because I was a young mum, I had no idea what I was doing in terms of business. I had a lot of people trying to push me the corporate way. That's where the money is. That's where you'll get the big orders from. And I had somebody design a website and said to me, it's a little bit clinical. It's not really what I'm trying to put across. And I was like, no, this is what you need, and stuff. But I knew what I wanted to put across, and that was family life. I wanted to put across that my children are the reason why I've been able to do this. So they have to feature heavily in everything that we do, whether it's advertising or, the pictures of them on the wall covered in chocolate and flour. That is what I was trying to put across. So I think it's really important to stay true to yourself. Take the advice that's been given, but always know what you want it to be, and try and stick to that as much as possible whilst taking on other people's advice and things like that. I mean, it works for us. Just being us works for us, and I couldn't be happier.
Great, thank you.
Can I just say, I think the other thing as well that is really important is you three lovely people here, and so many other micro businesses that are going to be involved today. We at Rockers, we call ourselves a network of networks, but I know that you three that have been part of this hour, and the guys that pre-recorded yesterday because they couldn't join us today, which is Fingers Brewing, who are a social enterprise that make beer and all the profits go to Prostate Cancer UK. I know that each of you can network together and actually make bigger opportunities for each other, and I think that is the other beauty of what this is, whether it's just in this food and drink hour or whether it's in creative and design later on. And I think that is the other thing. And I know from Renee's point of view that actually I have recommended her to so many different people because of the great work that she does. Martin and Maggie, the Pre-Wrap, I would recommend. It's heaven on earth. A week in the Pre-Wrap at their place is like, it's our favourite place. And having tasted one of Mike's chocolates, yeah, well, you just wouldn't eat any others. And I saw a little picture on Instagram of the ones that you'd done that say "You rock" on the top of it as well, so they were cool.
Well, I mean, I think Renee's been really cruel, don't you? Actually putting
Look
it on.
look at them all.
I mean, I think that is like that may win as the cruelest trick microbiz matters there. That, but anyway, like fantastic. I'm going to ask you one last question. We've got to be very brief because we'll be wrapping this up. But have any of you come up with something that you could give in 9 minutes, apart from this fantastic interview that we've just had and this hangout that we've done? Is there anything that any of you have thought, well, in 9 minutes I could give this to another micro business owner to help them with customers or cash flow or just confidence through chat to them? Anybody thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Tony, it's something that I suppose comes naturally because I do it quite a lot. Because I'm a bit like Renee when she started out. I actually rent space from a cafe, and that was the owner who just walked past, who walked in just then. And we're constantly talking and talking about cash flows and business issues. And then there's our suppliers who come in. A lot of my suppliers are micro businesses as well, and we don't just say, yeah, thanks very much and off you go. It's we sit down, have a coffee, have a chat. And talk through issues. One the other day was I've been asked to spend X amount on this advertising at such and such, and I said, okay, let's go through the sales funnel. How many people will see it? How many of those will be your type of people? Is it worth the money? And came up with the answer, well, perhaps it's not worth the money really. So saving them some money from their cash flow. So it is just sitting down and doing a little bit of business mentoring. You probably don't realise you're doing it, and it's just having a chat. But we're all in the same boat, and we all have the same issues.
That's it. Collaboration, yeah.
I think for me, it's important to encourage other people that are trying to do what you're trying to do. I've enjoyed so much encouragement and positive words from people around me, from customers to family members to friends to complete strangers. I've had people, when we've moved in here, people that I've never met before saying they've followed our story on Facebook and they've brought flowers to wish me well. And I mean, that sort of support, it's just incredible. And I think it's important for me to be able to pay that forward. So, for example, I know quite a few young mums who are starting up their own businesses. I came across a girl the other day on Instagram that does vintage Disney drawings, and she's a fantastic artist. And I put it across to her that if she wanted to, she could use the space at Lovestorm to do like a mini showcase. And I just think encouraging other people that you can see are trying to achieve what is so difficult to do. I think it's important for your growth as well as theirs, and it's a good feeling to know that you're putting what you've been through to good use for other people. But that's a massive part of it for me, because I wouldn't be here without the encouragement of other people. So.
Lovely. Thank you, Rennie.
I would simply say, reflecting back on what Tina has done to help us, for example, it comes down to time management. It's about talking. I will willingly talk to anybody about the lessons I've learned through the course of the last 15 years, ensuring that I put my time to best use, which is actually about selling the story and the product and doing that rather than getting locked into technology. One wonderful example being the cloud accounting that we now do, which came directly through Tina's advice, and the time and control that we have, and the overview, which gives us a snapshot to, as Mike was saying, to see where we're headed and know where we're headed and plan accordingly. Saving time, really, than not getting locked down in things which are not what I am and what my core strengths are, which is sticking to the production and the selling of the product, making best use of technology, but using help. And there's so many things. Just talking to Tina at that time changed our course and saved us a lot of time and effort. And that sort of dialogue, what what our experience is, good and bad, passing it on, I will willingly do.
Oh.
I think that's fantastic. I've been told that we have to wrap and get ready for the next hour, folks. So can I thank you all fantastically, Martin, Mike, and Renee, and Tina again for joining us again. And as Tina mentioned, the two guys from Two Fingers Brewing, well worth a look at the little video that we've put. All of these hangouts we're doing are all going as YouTube videos, so you can see them all. I mean, they're a prime example of 7 guys' personalities coming through into this business, but they're making these ales so that all of the profits go to prostate cancer. You know, and their personalities, like your personalities, zing through everything they do. And I think that's the point. We can collaborate quite happily and help other people because each of our businesses, because it's ours, yeah, is unique. And it's fantastic what you're all doing. Thank you very much for joining us today. Keep supporting Microbiz Matters Day, and great. Thank you.
Big love to you all. Bye.
Cheers.